it's been really an amazing year for so many different reasons with what we've had to deal with and everyone, the stops and starts, the unknowns. But the way, Coach Keeler and the staff and Dustin Norman, our trainer, our strength coaches, managers, operations personnel under Greg Hinsey, Ryan Carroll, DJ Swogel, Travis Lees, all those guys. It's amazing how the whole department has just really come together and worked really hard to give student athletes an opportunity to play. I remember talking to all the teams back in the fall and having to tell them that we were going to play 17 sports in the spring, and they didn't know if we were going to get to play. And to be real honest, I wasn't sure that was the best decision. And but that's who we are. We play when the championship season comes. And so to watch this team, play like they have, get to play at home in front of the Bearcat fans and our family, it's been really special. I mean, it's the most unique season I've ever been a part of, for sure, for all the obvious reasons. But just seeing the success that they've had, how they've handled it, how they've, come back and played the way they played and represented us. It's just really we're very blessed that they have the opportunity to play for a national championship again.
Right. And, you mentioned, you didn't know at the time if that decision to play in the spring was the right one. And I think, in the post-game video they showed of y'all celebrating the locker room, you said it was pretty lonely for you, whenever y'all did make that decision. For you, has this national title run just completely kind of validated all those maybe concerns or questions you had about were you doing the right thing back then?
Yeah. It's always good when you win and you get to this point. You can always say that. I really believed it was the right decision back then. I just doubted that, that was going to get through. That was the main thing is where was COVID going to go? What were the protocols going to be? Were we just going to shut it down like last year and stuff like that? In my heart, I knew that we'd gone through it logically. And it was the best thing for us. And I said it then, and this is so true, is, that's what our student athlete experience is. We're just not going to go play just to play and try to do a marketing thing. And we're going to play for championships. And when the NCAA said that's when we're going to play, that kind of made the decision a lot easier from our perspective. Didn't mean we didn't have pressure to play in the fall or that, coaches and student athletes didn't doubt me on that. I think that's the loneliness part of it when you're in a leadership position is when you do make a decision, having to deal with all those emotions from everybody from the outside, inside your department, questioning you, and then some doubt creeps in yourself. Did I do the right thing? But the other night, I was very emotional, and it was pure love for this program, and so glad that I'm 39 years as a Bearcat. And a lot of that motion for the last year came out in hopefully a positive way, because those young men and every one of our student athletes in our department have proven that we've done it the right way.
Just looking back to last weekend, that comeback against James Madison, I know, Sam Houston head coach Casey Keeler never said that he doubted that they would come back in that one, even down 21 points in the third quarter. Were you a little bit nervous at all, or did you always have faith that this Bearcat team could turn it around?
Well, after the second quarter, I had some doubts creep back in. I started thinking about after I walked out of the Fargo Dome in 2017, are we ever going to get back to this opportunity again? And I know Casey and I sat down and he outlaid the plan. I suggested a few things. We found a way to make it happen, and we've been rewarded for it. So, in that second quarter, at halftime, you always have a little bit of that. Well, it's just not our time, I guess. But what I was so proud of is we came out the third quarter and we did to James and Madison what North Dakota State had done to us before. Seemed like we would always be close, except for one time at halftime, and in the third quarter they come over and do what we did. And so that was really exciting. You know, I get nervous like anybody, but you know, when you see the confidence that our coaching staff had, and I think that's what's a great tribute to Casey is how well he's always positive in that situation. He's always in control of the situation, and I think that's why he's such a good coach. And that's where his staff is. It's a really quality group of men and who know how to get the best out of student athletes and know how to do that. You know, I told Coach Carlin, it was amazing. I've been here, been playing been in sports my whole life, and I coached the defensive backfield for 10 years. I've never seen a defense for 3 straight weeks in a win or go home situation be on the field on 4th down, making the play basically to win the game. You know, I've been on it both sides. I've been a defensive back coach. I think that's why I'm in administration now, is because I've lost a few of those on that last play, but we've won a few on that too as well. But what our defense did 3 straight weeks in that situation, you don't see that a lot in college football. Not 3 straight weeks and a win and go home. So that's been, you know, a lot of those things, and you can go through all the different things. The fans, you know, still that Sam Houston across the stadium that started at the Montana game and the semifinal game. And I remember having tears in my eyes that night because we finally arrived, I think, from a fan base, from a program, and it started a great run for us. And into seeing that the other day, again, it's the emotion. And I think that all that kind of came into play, hugging everybody, players coming up to you, thanking you, and different things like that. And then getting in a locker room situation is one of the best situations you can ever be in. It's why you're in athletics a lot of time, is that being with those teams and different things like that. And I've been in the losing side, I've been in the winning side, but the other night it just all kind of came out.
You mentioned that fan experience. You know, for me, I've been here for 3 years now, and these past couple weeks have been by far the best environment I've ever seen at Bauer Stadium. You know, for you, after kind of seeing, you know, maybe some of the attendance and everything like that and support sort of dwindle after these past 2 seasons, what was it like for you, you know, against North Dakota State and obviously last week against James Madison, just to see Bauer Stadium come alive and prove that it can be one of the better environments in FCS football?
Well, of course, it's great. I even told Matt Larson, the North Dakota State AD at halftime a couple of weeks ago, I said, you know, can you imagine if we weren't in COVID protocols and COVID, what this place would look like? I mean, Montana was unbelievable atmosphere that night. It would have been because, you know, North Dakota would have brought in quite a more than they did, and our fans would have just packed it as well. Even last week against James Madison, same thing. They brought a nice crowd, and we had a great one. You know, I've been joking around. I said, it's ironic that we're in Texas. We're supposed to be at 100%. You know, let's open it up. But, you know, we followed the right things to do and with the NCAA, and we don't want to jeopardize anything that puts us in a bind. But I'm just so proud of our fans and the way they've supported this team and our program over the years. And there's so many things that hopefully we've given back to them for them to be excited about as well.
Right. And, you know, something you touched on earlier was, you know, after that 2017 season, Casey Keeler came to you and y'all kind of discussed the vision for this program. You know, for you, what's it been like to kind of see, you know, the fruits of y'all's labors? Had a little bit of, I guess, down years by your standards, still winning seasons. But, you know, what's it been like to kind of see this transformation complete, to see y'all, you know, really emerge from being the team that's always there in the semifinals and the quarterfinals to the one that's finally breaking through this season?
Well, you know, a lot of people don't realize this, and I don't talk about it a lot, but, you know, when you hire coaches and you're in a situation, you get a new coach or you're having up and downs or anything like that, you know, you can see as an athletic director some things that fans and other people don't see. People are so immediate about, well, you know, we lost, so that, you know, the world is ending, so to speak, type of situation. But even during losing, when you're going through that, you can see whether it's moving in the right direction or it's not moving in the right direction. I've been in situations with coaches and staffs that, unfortunately, you look at it and you say, no, it's just not going to happen. You can just have a see it, but it's not the timing at that point in time to move in different directions. But you can just see it after 2017, and And even though we had some tough times those 2 years and then having to deal with, COVID and everything like that, you could just see where the program was going. When you're around the student athletes like I am, and you see and you talk to them and you see what they're prioritizing, you see what the coaches, how they go to work, you go down and watch film with them, you go down and talk to them. That's something that everybody doesn't get to see, and they don't understand when you're not having certain success. But I can see it, and I think my track record has proven that we've done a pretty good job at hiring some great coaches and building some great programs, and that's the one thing I've learned in 24 years as AD is you just know when you've got a great coach who can handle those type of situations and can get it turned around. And Casey does that, and that's just a pleasure to watch him and his staff perform.
Over 700,000 people tuned in to watch that game on ABC on Saturday. I think over 1 million combined viewers over these past 2 weeks.
That's
not
awesome.
not just big wins, but big moments for you as a program. What kind of goes through your head, whenever you hear, those kind of numbers related to Sam Houston athletics, and how many eyeballs are seeing y'all across the country?
Well, we've taken advantage of the opportunity or the uniqueness of playing in the spring. I know that we can't go that route from now on. And sometimes if we were playing during the Christmas break, you're going to get lost in some of those numbers from there. But this can only help us. It's tremendous that, I had another coach that I know says, man, you've captured not only the state of Texas, but nationally too. And, it's just not on par with a lot of the bigger schools in the Power Five. But you know what? It's pretty exciting that Sam Houston can have such a positive a window to our university through our football program and our athletic department.
Obviously, this being y'all's last year in the Southland Conference, but I know that you have a lot of fond memories in the league, dating back decades. For you, what's it kind of been like to go on this run and sort of go out on top, and then also have a chance to bring the league and the school that FCS championship?
I'm really excited about our WAC opportunity. It was a struggle making that decision because of my connection, because of so many friends and how much time I've invested in the Southland Conference. And that was a difficult part of it for me emotionally. When Tom Burnett came and gave me a hug the other day, seeing Frisco, that type of thing. And we've been friends for a long time. I was on the search committee that hired him. So, and we're big Astro fans too, but it's been a challenge with our friendship going through that. It's a tough time when you have that type of business decision that you go, but ultimately I am so honored and proud that our final season of football in the Southland Conference that's going to end in Frisco and hopefully with a national championship. I know that the Southland will be proud of that. I know that Tom will. And we will be very proud of that as well. No matter what, going to Frisco, they don't have the Southland logo on our jerseys, and that will always be a positive memory for us.
Just last one for you before we get on. I got one last question for you, because you've had a ton of success across the board this spring in all sports, not just football. But, for you personally, you started out, you were an assistant coach here, now the athletic director. What would it mean for you personally to bring home that first FCS championship to Huntsville?
Well, it would be pretty emotional for me. It's going to be, I'm going to be so happy for our program, our university, the student athletes and coaches, everybody involved that's made this happen. Win or lose, I'm going to be just as proud to be a Bearkat, and it'll be a great day to be a Bearkat. But I, as an only child, so to speak, I want to win. That's why we want to win. I'd love to be a part of that. And I look forward to that and am very appreciative of that opportunity next Sunday. And, but it's going to mean a lot because of the history that I have here at Sam Houston for so long. And with my wife's family, every one of them on that side of the family, I think there's 12 or 13 degrees, including our 2 daughters. And my wife has 2 degrees, and we have such a connection. We met here. It's been a wonderful place for us. And that's what I'm probably most proud of too, is the fact that, Janet and Audrey and Alex are just as invested in this that, it was interesting at the North Dakota game. I was in the press box and my young starter, Alex, was there. And so when we won, I gave her a hug and she's crying. And I knew how much it meant to her. I know how much it means to Audrey and Janet. And they know, that's the best part about this. Even my mom, who, I graduated from Rice. My dad graduated from Rice. My mom is watching the games and she's just ecstatic too as well. That's one thing I wish that my dad and my father-in-law, who, my father-in-law played here. Of course, my dad played at Rice, but they would have loved this. Unfortunately, they're not here, but they would have loved, and as old coaches, they would have just really enjoyed this run. And I'm sure they're looking down, watching that, hopefully on Sunday. And it's just really exciting. And I appreciate that question more than you know, because it does mean so much to me. What you said the other day from our coaches about how much passion and how much I care about and support that I have for this program. That's one thing that people don't understand, how much time and effort I've invested in it, how much I do love this place.
One last question before I let you go. Have been a lot of great success this spring outside of football, whether it's basketball, volleyball, playing for those conference championships, obviously golf teams in the NCAAs right now, baseball and softball still rolling. Colton Cowser, about a month or so, maybe, I think it's a couple weeks away from being a first round draft pick.
Amazing.
What is this like for you? I know I kind of asked the same question earlier, but what's it been like to have just so much success and just kind of see, it's been this strange, unusual year, but it seems like y'all have really came out on top of everything.
I always say it's a great day to be a Bearcat, but it's been really a great semester to be a Bearcat. Playing 17 sports, we didn't know what was going to happen. But again, that's who we are. Our student athlete experience is playing for championships. And if you've seen what our student athletes and our teams and our coaches have done in the spring, it just proved that that's what our experience it has been. And we're going to continue that. I'm just really excited. There's so many different things of how everybody, if you go back to 2019, the last time we played, we won 9 championships that spring. So compared to this one, we're a little down from that, but it just feels different. It feels different because of what we've had to overcome. And I know everybody in this country's had to do it. But I'm just really proud of the fact that we're able to, winning's not everything. We want to win, but ultimately, when you work hard and you go through the things that we've gone through, you'd like to be rewarded with some success. And I'm just really happy for everyone in our department and our university and our fans from that perspective.
Well, Bobby, that's all I got for you, but thanks so much for taking some time, and I'll see you up there in Frisco this weekend.
Looking forward to it, man. It's going to be fun. Hopefully we can get a good celebrated hug. Okay. I guess the media and athletic director can do that, huh? So
yeah,
we'll be okay with that.
I think we can make an arrangement for this one.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate everything you do, and thanks for supporting us, and let's eat them up, Cats.